My father, John Grady, always said that it's the best education you'll ever get will be in the courtroom. Thank you, James Riggs, for that, speaking the truth about this, and taking the veil away for most of us. I come here with this computer, my sister's computer. About a week or so ago, I got an email from our friend Felton Davis in New York City. Many of us, Felton sent us a transcript, sent us news about a judge that just died at the age of 99, I think it was, in New York City. Judge Honorable Millard Madonic. And he sent this news to us because many of us had gone before Judge Madonic back in 1998. And Felton sent us the transcript from that trial. So that trial stands out here today for me because we were charged with disorderly conduct, state of New York violation charge there. And at the time, there were about 20-something of us that had gone on Ash Wednesday and gone under police barricades to the U.S. mission during the time of the UN imposed sanctions on the people of Iraq, where there were thousands and thousands of Iraqi children under the age of 5 dying at the hands of U.S. imposed sanctions. So we went under the police line. We were charged with disorderly conduct, and we went before Judge Millard Madonic on April 22nd, 1998. There was a spokesperson assigned for the group, or chosen for the group. Now, I'm sorry, I'm not a computer person. Here we go. I want to bring attention to, toward the end of our time before the judge, where he got to hear about why we would go to the U.S. mission, why we would go under a police line, why we would not obey the police order to not go under the police line. And people brought forward personal testimony about how they had been to Iraq and seen the suffering and knew firsthand the result of our U.S. policies. And the judge asked at one point, so a woman named Sybil Sender, before Sybil gets on, a man named Mr. Jones speaks about how he watched a video that the former Attorney General Ramsey Clark had made showing the conditions in the hospital in Baghdad, showing no medicine on the shelves, showing children suffering needlessly. There was a portrayal of genocide against innocent women and children, and he watched the McLaughlin Group, a right-wing television show, and Robert Novak, who never makes any sense, use the word genocide. We saw Diane Sawyer interview Secretary of State at the time, Madeleine Albright, and when asked if 500,000 children were an acceptable price to pay for the maintaining U.S. policy in the region, Madeleine Albright said yes, that it was an acceptable price. It was not too high of a price to pay. So then the judge thanked Kevin Jones for his testimony, and then Mrs. Sender comes forward and she says, I want to plead guilty to the death of 500,000 children. And the judge asks her name and address. She gives that to them. And she thinks that she would use stronger words than her co-defendants, and that she wants to remind the judge of the laws that came out of Nuremberg trials, and that she wanted to remind the court of the silence of much of the Christian church during the Holocaust of the Jews in the 1930s and 40s in Germany. And she wants to remind the court of the book Hitler's Willing Executioners. And she says, I was a little girl then in America, and I saw the movies of the U.S. forces going into the labor camps, the concentration camps. And I said, well, how could the grown-ups let this happen? And now I am a citizen of a country that is murdering people silently in Iraq, And if I don't have the guts to dive under a police barricade for those people, and if people haven't the guts to break the laws to end slavery in this country, where are we? Where are we? So this is not just a matter of breaking laws, I would say, but the guts to step over the line when the police say, stay there. So Sybil says, I'm guilty of going under the barricade. But the judge says, I understand you. As a matter of fact, there is a provision in criminal law that I'm authorized in a proper case to say, in the interest of justice, that you are all perfectly innocent and that you're trying to tell me, I think, and you're very persuasive. I'm very much moved by your remarks. He goes on to dismiss the case in the interest of justice. Judge Martin. And I know that that is not an appeal, there's no opinion written about that, but I wanted to bring that into the education of this courtroom for all of us, not just you, Judge Gideon. And my closing remarks would just address your assertion that we were there to rattle the chains or something like that. And I would say that we've said it again and again with our words and our bodies, that we go to Hancock to stop the war crimes of our government. And I think that can be said very clearly. Thank you very much.